My name is Erich Von Däniken. I am the man who 50 years ago came out with the book Recuerdo del Futuro. In the meantime, I'm 83 years old, but the gods love me. I'm very young, I'm still researching. I'm happy to be here in Spain, especially in Barcelona. It's a pleasure for me to speak to all of you.
Soy Erich Von Däniken, soy el escritor del libro Recuerdo del Futuro, que he escrito hace 50 años. Estoy muy contento de estar aquí y es un placer de estar aquí en Barcelona.
Ja, wunderbar. Now, I understand a little Spanish. Yo comprendo un poquito de español, mas no lo hablo. I don't speak, that's why I'm very, very happy. Wie war Ihr Vorname?
Jenny.
I'm very happy that I have Jenny to help me here.
Que no hablo español, lo entiendo bien, unas palabras, y por eso estoy aquí.
Okay, it's up to you, to your question now.
Por favor, como somos muchos, ya las tengo el punto de tener. Una preguntita, y si no hay más ocasión, hacemos dos, pero mirar que sean simples y que la respuesta también sea cortita. Sí, por favor.
Quería preguntar, ¿cómo ha cambiado tu forma de ver el fenómeno OVNI a lo largo de todos estos años?
You know, in the beginning, 50 years ago, I was criticized practically by everybody. The scientific community crashed me down. In the meantime, the spirit of time has completely changed. I just come from a congress in Pasadena, in los Estados Unidos. There were 24,000 people. Yesterday, I was in a congress in Manchester, in England. There were 5,000 people. Among them, more and more scientists. The critic has stopped because in the meantime we have learned that my suggestions could very well be true. And more good information has come to the scientific community. So I'm happy that the spirit of time has changed and will continue to change.
Hace 50 años muchos me han criticado, especialmente los científicos, claro, pero acabo de llegar de una conferencia en Pasadena donde habían 24.000 de personas y de Manchester ayer donde habían 5.000 de personas y habían muchos científicos entre ellos y ahora han quitado de criticarme porque están pensando que mis sugerencias ahora pueden ser más real que habían pensado antes.
Yes, please.
¿Hasta qué punto han influido sus obras en los investigadores actuales? ¿Cuál es la visión que tiene sobre esto?
Habe ich nicht verstanden.
How have your works influenced the later people that have come along since?
How have I worked differently? You know, I try to bring proof, real proof which you can control to support my hypothesis.
Yo intento llevar prueba para apoyar mi hipótesis.
Things which you can photograph, which you can quote. I have nothing to do, for example, with esoterics or with religions.
Y solo me intereso en las cosas que puedes probar, en las fotos, las cosas que se ven. No tengo nada que ver con las religiones.
Yes, please.
De todas las culturas más antiguas del mundo, ¿cuál pensarías que es la más misteriosa de todas?
Oh God. Well, there are many of them. So,
hay muchos.
One of them is the Great Pyramid in Egypt. You all know the Great Pyramid in Egypt.
Egipto, el Gran Pirámide.
But in the last years, more and more secret rooms have been found in the Great Pyramid, and the public is not informed.
Y en los últimos años han encontrado mucho más cuartos secretos que el público todavía no sabe.
I will show some of these rooms in my speech.
Voy a enseñar unos de estos cuartos.
And there are old Egyptian historians who say that the Great Pyramid was not constructed by Cheops.
Y
not constructed by Cheops.
Los historianos dicen que el Gran Pirámide no fuese construido por
los historios, the Egyptian historians. The Egyptian.
Los egipcianos historianos.
Yeah. But old ones.
Más antiguos.
See, 2,000 years more. They say the Great Pyramid was constructed by a man which the name was Saurid.
Dice que habían construido por el nombre de Saurid.
But Saurit is the same figure which the Hebrew community call Enoch.
Saure es la misma figura de Enoch.
The Hebrew community, the Jewish community called Enoch. Sí. And the same figure as the Greek community called Hermes.
Y la misma figura de las Grecias que se llama Hermes.
Now there is a book of Enoch, and we know that Enoch was in contact with extraterrestrials.
Hay un libro de Enoch y ahora sabemos que estaba en contacto con extraterrestres.
Enoch, in his original book, he never calls the extraterrestrial gods. Never. He never used the word God.
Enoch en su libro nunca llama a los extraterrestres como Dios.
He calls them the guardians of the sky.
Son los que guardan el cielo.
So, there is a lot. Yeah, please, come on.
Do you think we are ready for the official direct contact?
Yes. I am sure at the moment this planet is under observation. So somebody is studying us, somebody is studying our political system, somebody is studying our religious system, somebody is studying our weapons, our virus, our bacteria. They want to know how we function. This group of extraterrestrials who observe us, of course they will have the force and the quality to show up at any time. They could show up on a football stadium where all the TV cameras are already here, but they do not do it because they know our reaction. We would be shocked completely. It's the shock of the diocese. So they respect it and they make this changement slowly in 1 or 1.5 generation. And this is exactly on the process now. I'm sure about this and we can prove it.
Nos están estudiando, observando cómo somos las religiones, el sistema. Podrían aterrizar en un pitch, un fútbol, un estadio de fútbol, pero no lo hacen. Porque saben que nosotros van a entrar en un tipo de choque.
You see, we have thousands of religions on this planet, and there are millions of people who pray and who are honest people, including their priests. They are honest personalities.
Tenemos muchas religiones en el planeta y son personas muy honestas, muy sinceros y bueno, rezan.
But they could not understand the extraterrestrial. They would believe this is evil, this is the devil, so we would fight against them.
Eric, do you think, tú piensas que este contacto ya es próximo? Y si sí, ¿por qué? Do you think this contact is just coming? And if it's yes, why do you think that?
No, it will happen within the next 10 years. Official contact within the next 10 years.
And why do you think that?
I have too much information about these things.
Could you share some of this information with us?
You know, there are persons who were in contact with them, and honest persons, like American astronaut Ed Mitchell, who was on the moon. I knew him very, very good. The American professor, Harvard professor John Mack, I knew him very good. These are all wonderful scientific personalities, and there is a contact between some of them and us. When we can prove this in the meantime.
¿Algún descubrimiento personal tuyo que hayas conocido que te haya impresionado en la actualidad?
Habe nicht verstanden. I have not understood.
¿Algún descubrimiento suyo o que él haya conocido de otros que le haya impresionado en la actualidad?
Is there some discovery that you've made that you want to...
That may have impressed you?
That has impressed you?
Well, there are many, many discoveries. I hope you are in my speech there in an hour. And I show you most incredible things.
Voy a enseñar.
For example, the newest thing, which I just know, we have always had the question, were in the past some giants there? No. No, in the literature of the historians, yes, there were giants, but we never had a proof. But in the meantime, we have a proof. In a tomb in Saqqara, Egypt, somebody found a finger of a giant. The finger is 38 centimeters long.
Sí, bueno, la prueba de los gigánticos es que hemos encontrado un dedo que es de 38
centímetros. Found in Saqqara in Egypt.
Hola, encantado. Disculpe, hay leyendas indias, también de los tribus Hopi, sobre una tribu de gigantes que atacaba y se comía a las otras tribus, y hubo una gran batalla y los mataron en una cueva con humo. ¿Sabría algo de esto?
There were somewhere in India, there was this big fight in a cave, and there was lots of smoke.
In India?
In India, in the
Sí, en la cueva de Loflop.
Loflop? The cave of Loflop?
Sí.
Never heard of it. I don't know what this is. No lo conozco.
En Arizona, sí.
Arizona?
He's referring to India, but to the Indians in America.
Oh, the American Indians. Ah.
Ich habe die Frage nicht.
In Amerika gab es mit den Indianern auch Angaben über Riesen und so, ob das ist.
Well, the mythologies of this planet are full of giants. Full. Practically every tribe, the ones in the South Sea, the ones in Eskimo, near Alaska, the ones, they had no contact together, but in their mythologies they all speak about giants.
Todas las leyendas del mundo hablan de los gigantes.
Y la huella de los tallos, una huella que encontró Manuel Palacios.
¿Huella?
Manuel Palacios, sí.
Manuel Palacios.
I don't know the name. Manuel Palacios.
Sí, a footprint.
Oh,
the Tallos.
Oh, there's a footprint in the where? ¿Dónde?
Tallos Cave.
A footprint?
There's a footprint in Tallos Cave.
I don't know about this. I was in the Tallos Cave, but that's more than 30 years ago. And I was just in the entry, not in all these tunnels. They told me these tunnels are hundreds of kilometers long. I don't know if this is true or not.
What do you think about Zachariah Sitchin?
The what?
Zachariah Sitchin.
Oh, we were very good friends, Zachariah Sitchin and I. He was a very good researcher. He made wonderful translations from Sumerian cuneiforms into English. But he suggested that in our solar system there was a 12th planet. And this is wrong. There is no 12th planet in our solar system.
¿Quieres traducir?
Sí, traduce, por favor.
Dice que eran buen amigos, Zachariah Sitchin y Jesús, pero él sugería que había un planeta 12, ¿sí?
12 planetas.
Sí, y te dice que no hay.
You know, we have modern Sumerian translations. In Germany there is a doctor in Sumerology. His name is Hermann Burgard. And this Hermann Burgard just translated the texts of Encheduanna. Encheduanna was the daughter of Sargon I, 2300 BC. Aha. Ah, ja. Ich habe meint, ihr versteht das alles?
Nein, du musst kürzer.
Ja, wenn ich habe meint, ihr versteht mein Englisch direkt. Okay. So,
a question is for the researchers. Actually, the people that is in television is not researching, it's just making recopulations. What do you suggest to those of them that are not real investigators, but just recopilation, internet researchers, let's call them, in order to be more honest or in order to be more efficient in their so-called investigation? What would you suggest them?
I suggest that all the journalists and the TV people, the media people, should learn to listen. Listen to the experts which has something to say. And only when you have heard their story, then you can come with critics. But first, listen. You know,
yo sugiero que los que escriben, los periodistas, tienen que escuchar y tienen que reportar lo que están escuchando los expertos que hablan y que hacen este trabajo.
In the past, I was attacked so many times, also from the journalist the group.
Me han atacado muchas veces.
And when I came together with the people, I asked them, which book have you read of me? And they say none.
Y cuando estaba hablando con los periodistas, pregunto, ¿qué libro has leído? Dice no.
No, so
nada.
This is a problem of communication. I love to speak with critics. I love to debate with critics and with skeptics because they lose anyhow.
Me encanta hablar y discutir con la gente que son críticos, que estén críticos, porque pierden siempre, porque no han leído nada.
Mr. Von Däniken, I have a question. It's a bit of an off topic, but as you said, your first books were published more than 50 years ago. And what do you think about even the people that doesn't follow your theories? You've been a huge cultural influence for the past 50 years in like poets, poets, photographers, directors.
Ich habe den nicht verstanden. I did not understand the real question. What is the real question?
What do you think about the cultural influence you've had?
The cultural influence? Well,
like cinema and this book, music.
Well, I am very happy. You know, many of these movies which were made, for example, Stargate, Roland Emmerich, I spoke to him and he said, of course, I was influenced by your books. Or the movie Prometheus. So I talked to the man, he said, of course, I was influenced of your books. And now I just always meet people, like now in the United States, there are people coming to me, hundreds of them, and say, I was influenced by your books. So I'm very happy to hear this. But I always make clear what I do has nothing to do with the religion. I don't want that somebody comes out and makes a new sect or a religion out of my thinking. It's just a question of information, not the question of believe it.
No, dice que estoy muy contento de que haya tanta influencia en las películas y todo lo que sale. Mucha gente viene y dice a mí que me has influido directo en mi trabajo. Estoy muy contento. Lo que no quiero es que me vuelvan mi mensaje en una religión, que me rezan.
O una secta, ¿no?
Un culto, un religión.
Okay, I would like to ask you, after 50 years of research and after the latest news that are coming from the US, like the special Space Force that Trump said, what do you think you will miss from this world in the following 10, 20 years?
You know,
what is the path that we are living right now? What are the changes? Because we are watching changes.
You know, in the meantime, I'm 83 years old. And of course, mankind will have a contact with extraterrestrials, I suggest, in the next 10 years. Translators.
Yo tengo 83 años. Yo sugiero que habrán un contacto entre hombres en humanidad y extraterrestres dentro de 10 años.
And for the moment, I still have a very good health.
Y por ahora estoy muy saludable.
I still smoke and drink. But I have never in my life taken any drugs.
Pero nunca he tomado drogas.
And I said, I'm married, by the way, since 58 years with the same woman.
Estoy casado con mi mujer de 58 años de casa.
And I said to my wife, if now, because I'm old, I will become sick, then I start to take drugs.
Si me vuelvo enfermo, entonces tomaré las drogas.
Una pregunta. ¿Qué diferencia hay para ti entre los dioses y los extraterrestres? Dioses y extraterrestres, no dioses y extraterrestres, entre los dioses y los extraterrestres. Y se dice que los sumerios tenían muchas pruebas de los contactos con estas entidades que fueron saqueados cuando los Estados Unidos invadió Irán y se llevaron todas estas pruebas. ¿Qué puedes decir al respecto?
Ich habe die Frage mehr oder weniger verstanden. Was meint mit Estados Unidos und Sumerien?
Between the extraterrestrials and the so-called gods, and what do you think about, or what do you know about these maybe proofs or rings
they took some evidence from when they attacked the wall.
From Iran?
You know.
Allegedly by the Americans.
Yeah.
Our forefathers have seen extraterrestrials and they believed that these extraterrestrials are gods.
Nuestros antepasados han visto estos extraterrestres y creían que eran dioses.
We all know there are no gods.
Todos nosotros sabemos que no hay.
Now imagine I would be right, so we have been influenced by extraterrestrials. The next question is, where did these extraterrestrials come from?
Hemos sido influidos por los extraterrestres, pero ¿de dónde vinieron?
Now you can say the others were influenced by other extraterrestrials.
Y ellos han sido influidos por otros.
So you can play this game through the universe for millions of years.
Es un juego que se
multiplica. But finally you arrive to a starting point where in every respect with religion you say, here is God, Dios.
Pero el punto de empezar es el punto de Dios.
So finally you are respectful with religion, you say this is God. God and the gods, God is reality the God of the universe, and the gods is a misunderstanding of our ancestors.
Hay un Dios del universo, pero los dioses es un malentendido que no hemos entendido.
What do you think about Corrado Balducci's statements about angels were the extraterrestrials?
Yes.
Angels in the past
yes.
were the extraterrestrials in the present.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
Estoy de acuerdo.
We know in our religious traditions we have words like heaven, for example. And we have been learned, I was educated as a Catholic. When I was a boy, they taught me, Eric, when you live correctly and when you die, you will go to heaven.
Me ha enseñado cuando era joven que si vives bien, cuando mueres, vas al cielo.
They told me heaven is the place of happiness. There you are united with God and the angels.
Me han dicho que el cielo es el sitio de felicidad y allí estás reunido con Dios y los ángeles.
Later, when I was an adult, I learned that in this heaven there was a war.
Más tarde aprendí que en el cielo hay una guerra.
You remember the archangel Lucifer, when they arrives and says to God, we do not serve you anymore.
Y el ángel Lucifer llegó y dice que no vamos a servirte. No.
So God asked for the archangel Michael to throw Lucifer out of heaven.
Entonces Dios preguntó a arcángel Michael a tirar a Lucifer desde el cielo.
If heaven would be the place of absolute happiness, then there would be no confusion, no opposition, no war.
Si cielo fuese el sitio donde era la felicidad, entonces no habría nunca una guerra allí.
Now that story of a war in heaven repeats in many old traditions.
Esta historia de la guerra en el cielo repita en todas las religiones.
So we must change the word heaven into space.
Entonces tenemos que cambiar la palabra cielo en espacio.
The same thing happened with angels. We think angels, they were peaceful, they were lovely.
Igual pasó con los ángeles. Eran muy pacíficos, eran muy buenos.
But angels killed, for example, read in the second book of the Kings in the Bible, an angel killed 184,000 Assyrians.
Pero los ángeles mató a
184,000 Assyrians.
184 miles de sirianos.
You can read this in the second book of the Kings of the Bible.
Puedes leer esto en el segundo libro de los reyes.
Or the angels had sexual contact with humans.
Y los ángeles han tenido contacto sexual con los humanos.
So if angels would be something spiritual, they would not have sexual contact, they would not kill people.
Y si serían algo espiritual, los ángeles no matarán a la gente y no tenían contacto sexual.
So change the word angel into extraterrestrials.
Entonces cambiar la palabra ángel en extraterrestre.
Now I have changed two words. I made out of heaven, I made space. Out of angels, I make extraterrestrials.
Entonces he hecho cielo, ha cambiado en espacio. Y ángel en extraterrestre.
If I do this only with 10 words, I change the complete meaning of the old text.
Si lo cambio todo 10 palabras, cambio todo en su integridad.
Because our ancestor, our professor, who translated these old texts, they were brilliant personalities.
Porque los profesores antiguos eran muy buenos.
But they had no idea of extraterrestrials.
Pero no tenían el conocimiento de extraterrestres.
So they have translated these old texts always in a religious, psychological way.
Y por eso han traducido estos textos en maneras religiosas y psicólogos.
In the meantime, we have new translations from Sumerian texts, from Hindu texts, from Sanskrit, and we know the situation has changed completely.
Y por lo tanto ahora tenemos nuevas traducciones desde los textos sumerian y otros textos.
Yeah.
Ha cambiado todo.
Yeah. Okay, we have to.
I want to ask you, now I'm really amazed by what drives your passion, because you're so amazingly passionate about this. Aren't you tired from the whole subject of video?
No, I love it. You know, I feel myself like a sort of missionary who has a message, but not a religious message. That's the difference.
Me gusta mucho todo lo que hago. Me siento como un misionario, pero no religioso.
And I like the discussion with journalists and with critics. That's all wonderful. You know, I'm not the man who has conspiration. Was heißt Verschwörungstheorie?
Conspiracy.
I'm not the man who has conspiracy theories.
No está interesado
You're the mastermind.
Thank you very much. Okay.